Our objective for Chapter 3, Section 2 is to solve multi-step inequalities. First one, we have some fill in the blanks. You can add or subtract the same quantity from both sides of an inequality. We've done that. And the statement is still the same. But you have to be careful. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you must flip the inequality symbol in order for the statement to remain true. So using that, we are going to solve some inequalities and graph them. And remember, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality symbol. First one, 3x is greater than negative 27. We divide both sides by 3. There is a negative right here, but we aren't multiplying or dividing by a negative, so we don't have to flip the sign. Those cancel, and you are left with x is greater than negative 9. To graph that, we would have an open circle on negative 9. We want the greater than, so those are the numbers off to the right. Number 2, 2/3 r is less than 6. To undo a 2/3, we are going to multiply by 3/2. And then these will all cancel. And you are left with r is less than. 6 times 3 is 18, divided by 2 is 9. So you will have an open circle on 9 and everything to the left. Number 3, we want to get rid of this negative 8. When you multiply or divide by a negative, you need to flip the sign. Negative 72 divided by negative 8 is 9. That's a less than or equal to, so we need to make it a greater than or equal to. So we have a closed circle on 9 and all of the numbers that are greater than or equal to 9. Number 4, we have an x divided by a negative 5. To undo that, we are going to multiply both sides by a negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 3 is a positive 15. Negative 5 multiply and divide, they cancel each other out, so we're left with an x. And since we've multiplied by a negative 5, we have to flip the sign. Number 5, we would start by subtracting 7 from both sides. Careful of this negative here, it's a subtract 2t. So you will have negative 2t is greater than 14. And to undo negative 2 times t, you are going to divide both sides. 14 divided by 2 is negative 7. And since we divided by a negative, you have to flip the sign around. Number 6, x plus 5 divided by 2. We want to get rid of this divided by 2. And to do that, you are going to multiply both sides by 2. Multiply by 2 and divided by 2 cancel each other out. And you are left with x plus 5 and a negative 6. Since we multiplied by a negative, you have to flip the sign around. And when you subtract x from both sides, you are left with x is greater than or equal to negative 11. Number 7, we need to combine these like terms. Negative 4 plus negative 8 is a negative 12. On the right hand side, you will have a negative 5c minus 2. To solve that, you will add 2 to both sides. If you are $12 in the hole and you add $2, you are at a negative 10. And now we want to get rid of this negative 5. So we would divide both sides by negative 5 and you are left with 2. You have to switch the sign and C. So 2 is greater than C. Number 8, First thing we need to do is distribute. Negative 3 times 3 is a negative 9. Negative 3 times negative x is a plus 3x. And then we have a 16. To get rid of the negative 9, we are going to add 9 to both sides. And that becomes a 3x is greater than 25. And when you divide both sides by 3, you can leave that as 25/3. That is the same as 8.3 repeating, or 8 1/3. Number 9, I'm going to rewrite this equation, and I'm going to change the second two fractions. 1/2 I'm going to make 5/10, and 3/5 I'm going to make 6/10. So the first fraction, right here, I multiplied the top and the bottom by 5 to get 5/10, and right here I multiplied the top and the bottom by 2. So we subtract 5/10 from both sides, and you end up with 4/5 x is greater than or equal to 1/10. To undo a 4/5, you multiply both sides by 5/4. Getting a little messy down here. And you are left with x is greater than or equal to, this would be a 5/40, which reduces to 1/8, and I think that's 0.125. The back side of our notes, Ryan has a $16 gift card for a health food store where smoothies are $2.50. How many smoothies can he buy? Our equation will be 250x has to be less than or equal to 16. He can spend all $16. When we divide, you have x is less than or equal to 6.4. He can't buy a fraction of a smoothie, so he can buy up to 6 smoothies. Number 11.